Try again. I was a bit slow on that as well, to be honest. So Dorian was actually on BBC Scene Stealers. He was dressed up as a goth, and they converted him to a model. I implore you to go onto YouTube and have a look.
Is this your thing? Every week you're going to leave me a little secret message, and then I only learn about what the message was when I actually hear your audio back.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a little New Year Christmas treat.
A Christmas treat.
CPOD. Press enter to begin.
Welcome back to CPOD. Hope you've all had a fantastic Christmas. I am your host, Dorian, and with me once again is Beelzebub, back for more. How are we, bud?
Well, I'm quite warm in hell. It is quite warm. The upside, of course, is it's been a warm Christmas. So, yeah, I can't really complain. How are you?
I'm good. It has been quite a mild Christmas. I can't remember the last Christmas I had where it snowed here. It's mad. It's really, really odd.
I meant in reference to you saying I was like Beelzebub, in hell.
Which
devil.
I did. Well, I'm from Sheffield, so same thing.
The ski village is on fire again, so we're all,
this is
just
it.
sat around that Christmas Day.
Literally. But yeah, no, it's been a very fun Christmas. As I said, we hope you've all had an excellent Christmas too and got wonderful techie things. Lots to talk about this time round. El, what did you get for Christmas?
Oh, we're straight in. We've skipped through our topics.
What
did I get for Christmas? No, we'll go through. We're going to ad hoc it because that's how they do it. That's how professionals do it. What did I get for Christmas? So I got a Master Chief plushie, which was very cool.
I saw that.
That was big into
cool.
the Halo.
Yeah.
Love that. I got a tech deck, which it's just a bit of a throwback to when we were kids, and it's just on the desk. I'm trying not to play with it now. I also got on Switch, which has started a whole previous addiction up again, but we'll get onto that. Lego Party, which is brilliant. I mean, in my opinion, it blows Mario Party out the water. It's really good, really funny. Like, the commentators actually make me laugh, in the lines that they've recorded. It's cross-platform. It's brilliant. But yeah, and I got Lauren, my wife, got her a Game Boy Advance SP, which has been reshelled sort of by a company and has an IPS screen in. The reason I bought it rather than doing it myself, because I've done sort of different reshells and the IPS seems pretty easy to swap over, is because it came as like a full package with a cardboard box that had all been done up in the sort of Pikachu. It looked like it was brand new, which is kind of the vibe I wanted to get, for Christmas Day. So
yeah. And
then got her Super Mario Land boxed.
Cool.
Which is the game that she played with her dad as a kid. Yeah, so that's quite cool. And then got her a few Pokemon GBA stuff and that sort of thing. How about you?
Mine's a little bit difficult to talk about, but because it's not... I didn't really get any games for Christmas. I got a few bits of tech-related stuff, and I got something that is sort of game-related. And it's a bit of a story, actually, as well, because we were doing Secret Santa at work, and I got my Secret Santa a Tamagotchi, as I mentioned in the previous podcast, and she was well happy with that. But the day it arrived, I thought that it was my package that I was expecting, so I rushed downstairs. Oh, yep, that's my Amazon package. Opened it, looked inside it, and went, that's not my package. That's a Sonic 3 diorama from the Mega Drive. And then I thought, oh no, that's what Nadia's bought me for Christmas, because I remember talking to her about it weeks ago. And I suddenly felt so... And it's one of those as well, where it's... You can't just reseal it. It's got that little red tape for you to peel back as well. So she knows that I've opened it. So I can't even lie about it on the day and be like, oh, what a surprise. I had to message her and go, I'm so sorry. Thank you, but I'm so sorry. So I was.
Did she still wrap it for you?
She still wrapped it, bless her. Yeah, absolutely she did. And I just said to her, you know what, I'll do my best to forget about it because I've got a shocking memory anyway. I didn't because I was far too excited about it, and then I finally opened it and inspected it properly, because obviously once I'd realised what was in this box, I was not going to go into it any further. And then I saw them back in stock in the shops, didn't look at them. I thought, no, I'm leaving it until Christmas. Don't look at them. Walk past them. Just wait until Nadia actually gives it to you. So I did. I waited till she gave it to me. Inspected the entire thing, looked around, and got so excited. And it's so beautiful because it looks exactly like a Sonic 3 cartridge. In fact, the Sonic 3 cartridge that I've got for my Mega Drive. And it comes with little figures on the inside, so you can open this cartridge up and there's a Sonic and the Knuckles, and it's in Carnival Night Zone. And then you can get other ones like Golden Axe and Streets of Rage 2 in cartridge form. And then finally there's a whole Mega Drive that you can open that is like a big diorama kit where you can put all the figures inside. But I don't want to open mine because it looks so good in the packet. And I'm like, if I open this packaging, I'm going to ruin it. So I might have to be that guy that buys two of it. The one that I can open and one that just never gets opened. So that was...
I like it.
That was my tech-related... Actually, no. I did kind of get something, but it's not a Christmas present. So, as discussed again in the previous podcast, for my birthday, you got me a £20 PlayStation voucher, and I've finally spent half of it. And I will go into that on our What Have You Been Playing section, which I apologise, I have skipped, but I've still got Christmas jitters. I've just been excited to see what everyone's got for Christmas, so my bad, sorry about that.
Well, that to me just sounds like a perfect segue into Dorian. What have you been playing?
Well, funny you should ask, Elliot. I've been going through the PlayStation sales, and I've noticed that the same stuff is on sale all the time, but there was a bit of a little bit more off Hogwarts Legacy this time round, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to bite the bullet and get it because I keep eyeing it up. It's less than a tenner, and it'll be hours and hours of fun. And Nadia wants to play it as well because she's not much of a gamer. She loves Uncharted. She likes Sims, but we're both pretty big on Harry Potter. Not big, but I like it. And I started playing it, and it's difficult to put down because once you finally got into Hogwarts and you can explore, it's incredible. Brilliant game. I'm not very far into it.
It was my game of the year.
Yeah, was it really?
I 100%ed everything, every side quest. There's some things I can't tell you because there's some pretty big spoilers where sort of additional mechanics come into it.
Right.
But I did everything. Absolutely loved it. Even because I had a mini ITX motherboard, sort of mini PC build I'd done, and I changed all of the RGB and strips and everything that I had to match the colour. So I was like Gryffindor, House Gryffindor, and I'd set it so as soon as I fired up Legacy, it would then switch to that, and I had a whole kind of like theme going on. Amazing game. You can just really get yourself lost in that world, especially with being in Hogwarts, can't you? Right? It's amazing.
That's it. It's brilliant. I'm sorry if this is a disappointment to you. Despite the fact that I've done the official Harry Potter house quiz online, I was a Gryffindor then. I'm a Ravenclaw now, but I'm rolling with it. And one of the things that we noticed on playing is when you start it up, it's great. PS5's probably got its limitations compared to PC graphically. But it's glitchy as hell as well. Because when we were doing our sorting hat thing, somehow our robe ended up through our knees. I have no idea why. So it was fun to watch, but I don't know why. The sorting hat just had enough of us and just decided to kneecap us before we start our first turn. So, all right.
Sheffield? No.
Exactly.
Well, I had it on release on PC. I can't remember if I pre-ordered it. I can't remember. But it was hard, really hard to run, and it was that frustrating thing on PC, which is why I've kind of very much dipped to majoritively console after being a PC gamer like my entire life.
Yeah.
Is that trying to get a stable FPS, especially at the early time when it first came out, trying to get a stable FPS. And make the game actually look good was really tricky. So that was on an RTX 2060 because it was in the mini RTX build, and a 3700X AMD Ryzen. I got it well, but the amount of hours that I'd spend tweaking, we go into a new area, there'd be a new FPS drop, and I ended up tweaking it again. It took away from the experience a little bit. So I think I would actually recommend console because you can just whack it on performance and just enjoy it. There is, of course, that with FSR and things, but I've been playing with that on the ROG, for Hogwarts,
Right.
and one of the modes introduces huge import lag. So yeah, I'd say you're playing it on the right platform, arguably.
It's got a couple of graphical settings. So you do have your performance, and then there's a fidelity mode, but then there's fidelity with RTX. And you go, oh, okay, try and switch that on, but it says you've got to reboot your entire system. Now, I've never seen a PS5 have to restart entirely just to activate RTX, which looked a bit weird to me. I tend to have it unbalanced, so I get good visuals, relatively good FPS. I'd say I don't get the full 60, I think, but I'd say I probably get somewhere between 40 and 50. I never noticed any dropping, so it is nice and stable. But the weirdest thing for me is reflections. Reflections don't tend to render until I'm right up close to a mirror or a wall or water or something like that. And even then, it looks like I'm phasing sort of in and out of space. It's really, really odd. But as long as I ignore that, the rest of the game's beautiful.
It's an AMD chip, isn't it, the PS5?
Oh, I have no idea. Now you're asking. I can tell you what.
I believe it is. I don't think it'll be Intel, and if so, I imagine it'll be an earlier one. So it's probably running in AMD FSR2, or maybe a very early version of that, which is what I suspect some of the issues are. We've got it physical for the Nintendo Switch 1, and I'm thinking about playing it on the Nintendo Switch 2. Even though I've got the ROG, I can run it at 60.
Yeah.
And it locks at 30 on the Switch 2. When I think it's handheld. I think there's an improvement if it's docked or handheld. I can't remember which way. But I just like the fact that it's kind of been. They've worked with the developers to make it run on that console. I've got a set number of options. I can find the one that works for me and then enjoy the game. Whereas if it's on PC, you've got that many settings, you end up tweaking all sorts, and the game is very sensitive to, as you say, you must restart the entire thing. And you're like, oh God, we've only got limited time to play games.
Yeah.
I want to maximise that time playing the games. And that's kind of one of the things that drew me away from PC. Or I spent £900 on the most recent build, fired up a new game, and it's like, oh, no, actually the GPU is the bottleneck for that specific game, so I need to get a new I just know I'm, you know what I mean? It's kind of, if it's stable FPS, that's my concern nowadays. Even if it's, to be honest with you, even if it's 30, we've played games at 30 for years and didn't question it. As long as it's stable and I don't get, the lows, I'm pretty happy.
See, I do feel like you've spoilt me in that regard, because I don't do a lot of PC gaming, and then I bought this laptop from you secondhand. It's quite capable, especially at sort of games around the PS3, PS4 era. And now that I've seen 60 FPS, when I go back to 30, I go, ugh. But I never had a problem with it. Never. Until you showed me. And now I'm like, oh, I can't go back. You've spoiled
Someone did it to me. I'm just passing on the pain. Pain. I'll tell you one thing which I want to throw in here, because this isn't in our sort of pre-agreements that we talk about, but this is going to be the last podcast before the new year.
It is.
So last year I made, I hate this new year, new me sort of thing personally, so I tried to set any resolutions which are really achievable. So my thing was I wanted to complete more games. So to hold myself accountable for it, I started making a list.
Okay.
I'm currently on 21 games for this year that I've completed.
That's good. That's a lot.
Do you know what games you've completed this year? Off the top of your head, can you think of any you got through?
Yes, so I did complete Soul Evil 1 and 2 remastered for the PS5, because they came out last December. So I know I've completed those two.
Currently £8 on Switch.
Yeah, it's dropped in price online, definitely. The deluxe editions have dropped in price as well, which is more news for later. We'll leave that one there. So yeah, Soul Evil 1 and 2. But what else did I complete this year specifically? I don't think I've completed anything on PS1 or PS2. Definitely not PS3. I've been mostly playing. Oh, I completed Death Stranding for the second time. The first Death Stranding game.
My wife, I can see in Discord right now, is playing Death Stranding Director's Cut on Xbox.
Yeah, it's a great game. I still enjoy it, but despite the fact that I've finished it once already, I was still not prepared, even for the second time, for that 3-hour long ending, because I was just sat there going, when does this end? It's a beautiful ending, don't get me wrong.
I'm quite used to that. I'm quite used to that because Xenoblade Chronicles does exactly the same thing.
Ah,
You think, oh yeah, I'll be with you. Just going to finish this cutscene, and you're like a feature film length in, and you're like, yeah.
yeah. Just when you think nothing else can happen. Oh, it's still going. Oh, brilliant. All right, then. I'll sit back down. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think it's, for me personally, it's just those 3 games. Yeah, no others.
Fair play. I'll whiz through these because I've got quite a list.
Go for it.
The first one I completed this year was Xenoblade Chronicles, the Definitive Edition. So that's the first one in the series. The Xenoblade games, if no one... In the other podcast, which I talk about quite a lot, the Nintendo Switch one, which we love those guys. I think I became known as the Xenoblade guy because anyone's like, "What game should I play?" Play Xenoblade. Play Xenoblade. It snuck up on me. We were in game in Sports Direct at some point years ago now. Second hand Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I thought that's not really something I'd ever play. It's kind of very sort of like manga Japanesey, and I thought I'll give it a go. And it's now, I'd still say, my franchise of all time. Xenoblade is up there at the top.
Yeah.
So I completed 3. This year I completed 1. I want to get all of them done. I own all of them, so I've been working my way through them. So I completed the definitive edition of 1 this year. Kirby the Forgotten Land, really good fun. No sort of difficulty curve, so really good if you've not got much time to play games. I'd recommend that for a lot of people. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, brilliant game. Xenoblade 3... Future Redeemed DLC, Atomfall. That was very, very weird. Had some weird nightmares after playing that game.
All right.
I'd still say my game of the year, though, was Avowed, which got just ripped to shreds when it came out. Made by Obsidian. Fantastic RPG. Like the characters in the party, you feel like you're actually part of a team. Just a brilliant game. And I'll whiz through some of the others dead quick. Bioshock Infinite, Xenoblade Chronicles X, Super Mario Land, Super Mario Brothers Wonder, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4, so these are more recent. A Short Hike, that was a great game. Albert Wildlife Adventure, The Main Story to Palia, South from Midnight, I think we spoke about that already, great game. Hellblade 1, Hellblade 2, and then I just want to see if you can pick out a theme before Christmas, what I was playing a lot of. Halo Infinite, Halo Reach, Halo 3 ODST, Halo 5 Guardians, and then more recently, Lego Harry Potter Years 1 to 4. So that's where I'm at so far. I'm trying to complete Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I'm about 40 hours in. Typically those games are about 120 hours plus. So we'll see how that goes. And I've bought loads of games in the sales, so got a big backlog.
That's a lot of hours. Well, so hang on a minute. Just fill me in here. So each Xenoblade game is roughly about 100, 120 hours. How many Xenoblade games have you played and completed this year, did you say?
To be fair, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was the DLC this year, so I've already completed 3. I think the DLC took about 40 hours. So, but yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition was 130 hours, I think. Then 40 for 3. And then about 100 for Chronicles X, and then I'm trying to complete Chronicles 2. It's quite a lot of time, really, when you... Don't call me out.
I wish I had that kind of time again. That's insane. But obviously, me being dad, it means that I've got to go outside and go to the park and make sure he's getting some fresh air and some exercise. No, I've got errands to run because Nadia's working, and I'm the one taking care of the housework and stuff on the weekend, and we took it in turns, obviously, but it's
also the Switch life. I will say the Switch life, because it enables you, because if you don't have access to the TV, you can just take the device out, and I'm not saying that, you'd suddenly have 120 hours of free time, but judging off some of the other parents, in the other podcast, I think it's kind of a theme. It does allow you to get some gaming in, but probably not 120 hours. but I don't know how restricted the PS5 is, being locked to your TV.
It does lead me on to what I've been playing, because as I mentioned, I have been playing Hogwarts, but since the past couple of weeks have gone on and we've been talking a little bit about using portable devices when the PS5 is taken up. Now, don't get me wrong, when Noah's sat watching his Paw Patrol or whatever, I am knocking around the house doing jobs, but when I've got a second free, it is nice to be able to... I've been doing a little bit of like Scrabble and stuff on my phone to try and keep my brain active. But I have picked up my PS Vita and Minecraft again. And there's something very charming about going back to an old version of Minecraft, because that thing's not been updated in God knows how long. So it looks awful, especially compared to these latest PS5 updates where you've got bloom effects and particle effects and true to like true world reflections and stuff. But I've been, in the past couple of days especially, I've picked up Minecraft on my PS Vita again, and I've been really enjoying it because it's very nostalgic in the sense that it looks awful, just like we used to play it. And you've kind of got it's that whole imagination thing again, where you've got to use your imagination to kind of fill in the gaps. And it's also a very small world. You can't generate a very big map on the PS Vita at all. So it's a tiny sandbox. It's not overwhelming. It's like, okay, here's a couple of thousand squares. Play with what you're limited to. And there is that sort of limited resources idea of it as well. So it's like, oh, I've got to be careful with what I use. So I have. Yeah. Sorry.
You have. He has.
I have.
Ladies and gentlemen, he has. No, that's... I know what you mean, but for me, I kind of preferred when it was, keeping it simple.
Yeah.
I preferred that. It doesn't need the bloom effects and the necessary bloat to the game. They see that as development. I see that as veering away from what the game should be. One thing I would like to do at some point, so I've currently lent my old Switch OLED, which is the Zelda Tears of the Kingdom edition. Currently lent that out to my brother to see whether he can get on with it, basically see what he thinks. He's picked up twice in about 6 months, bless him. He's just started to give it a good go. But if it's ever something you'd be interested in, I'd be very keen to, if you fancied trying it with the dockable feature, to lend it to you and see how you get on. Be an interesting kind of discussion on a podcast, have it for a month or so and see what you think, see how you get on.
That's interesting. Yeah.
I just think it would offer you, and I've got the old Pro control as well, so I could literally say, look, here is everything you need to get set up. You've got our physical stack of the shelf behind us, so you can literally come around, have a see what you want, have a little sort of trial when you're here and take things away. See what you think. See if we can get that. What have you been playing up to 21?
It's an idea, absolutely. We have a Switch Lite. Half my problem with that, though, is, well, first of all, it's not mine, it's Nadia's. But secondly, I can't game on that too long for the same reason that I can't game on my PSP too long, which is that my fingers cramp up. With the Pro controller, I reckon I might be able to sit down and give it some proper time. So that's an interesting idea. I quite like that.
Well, what's interesting as well is, so on the original Switch 1, the original Joy-Cons are just, oh my god, the hand cramp, it's insane.
Yeah.
So I have some... I can't remember if they're 8-bit though. I can't remember the brand which they are off the top of my head. But they're third-party controllers. They have no rumble function, but they're really comfortable. They're big, and they sit on the side of it. So it feels like a proper controller with the slab in the middle. So you can play for hours on that. So for the same reason I struggled with. As I say, the Switch Lite, some people seem to love it. Both me and Lauren bought a Switch Lite when they came out, and both of us ended up selling it and then getting another Switch.
Yeah,
it's a great idea on paper and it works for certain things, but I think it really is it's as I said before on the podcast, I think that's like a niche of a niche. But I guess in a way, this moves us on to the second topic that we were going to talk about today, which one thing we've noticed that I do, which I think is a little bit ADHD-ness, is a hyper focus on a certain platform. So I kind of got away from PC. That has been some time. I was Switch only for about 14 months or so.
It was a long time.
But then I bought the Series X.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was just Switch only. But I kind of felt like I'd got through the backlog. I was kind of quite burnt out. And I wanted that kind of broad range of games without having to always get the 20 FPS version of a game, which is where the Switch got to at the end of its lifespan. So I still have Game Pass until the 15th of January. Still got the Series X, still got the ROG for PC games and other things. But yeah, so Lauren got me Lego Party, and it's just opened my eyes to the Switch again and how brilliant the Switch is. To the point where there's certain games where I could play it on the ROG handheld, but I've got to then deal with, again, battling the FPS, changing settings, or the Switch just works. And as I've got hooked onto those previous games. So for me, I seem to have the kind of hyper focus on that platform, become everything about that platform sometimes, then sort of switch up and then come back after X amount of time. But how about yourself? How do you sort of function between, because I know you've got Mega Drive and PlayStation and your other handhelds, PSP, PS Vitas. How do you kind of handle owning all of them, and how do you play them all?
Well, so I've got I don't have the dilemma that you have, in which like you'll, as you say, hyper focus on one console for a while, and you'll play everything on that console, and you'll think, this is great. I need to get more games for this thing, and you'll accessorize as well to make sure that you've got your experience with that particular console down to a perfection, which I admire very much, because you're like, right, if this is what I'm going to be playing, this is how I want it to feel. I don't have that. What I have is much worse, I would argue, because I don't necessarily have a hyperfixation on games or consoles in particular. I have a preference in consoles. That preference happens to be PlayStation. That's just kind of what I've grown up with. It's what I've grown to like, and I'm part of that ecosystem now. But I'm in the middle of games everywhere, so I can't just sit down and game on one thing, because that's my fixation. I'll do a little bit of gaming here on the PS2. Just as an example, I'm currently in the middle of a game of Need for Speed Carbon on the PS2, but I've not played it for weeks. Why have I not played it? Because I've also been in the middle of Ghostbusters on PS3, Death Stranding 2 and Silent Hill and Minecraft on PS5, with a little bit of Minecraft thrown into my PS Vita, as well as Silent Hill Origins on my PSP, as well as Mario on Game Boy Advance. So my problem is that I will play a game depending on my mood, but because my mood tends to changes, if I've had a good day at work, a bad day at work, if I just want to relax, if I'm dedicating myself to that time, I'm going, right, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to get through this because I'm enjoying it. But I'm spread too thin, so I end up leaving games behind because it's been that long ago since I was in the mood to play that game, I've forgotten where I was, and I have to restart it. For example, I bought Ghostbusters about a year and a half ago. I don't think I've ever got past the first 4 levels, not because it's not an interesting game, but I have to be in the mood to play that game, otherwise I'm bored. So I tried replaying it again recently, but I say recently, this was October. And I think the last time I played it was the beginning of December, and now I can't remember where I am or how to play the game, because I've been playing something different, because I've just been exhausted and want to just chill in front of Minecraft. So I don't necessarily have that hyperfixation where I'll go to a console and just dedicate myself to that for a bunch of months. I spread myself across all the consoles that I have and never get anything done, and that's probably why you've completed 21 games this year and I've only completed 3.
But it's honestly, it's like hearing you say that, it was like me having an itch that I couldn't scratch. It's like, but so many platforms, so many games.
Yeah,
that made me feel so uncomfortable.
It is a bit mad, and it drives me nuts.
I
as well
admire
because, Oh, really? Why?
Because my brain wouldn't work like that. Because in my head I can't. It's kind of like I'm doing this or I'm not.
Right.
I don't think I could kind of dip in and go, oh, where was I? Oh, yeah, I think I know where I am. Yeah. And then, having too many games on too many different platforms would just confuse me. And I wouldn't know where I was, and it would frustrate me. It's almost like gamer fatigue, which is such a ridiculous thing to say out loud, but I think that would induce that for me. And I'd sit there going, I don't know what to play. The downside is there's sometimes games where I've had to force myself to play it, and I'm not enjoying it for the first 30 minutes. But it's like, no, I'm gonna play it,
But you're 100% right. So I do get that problem a lot, and that's probably half the reason why I've not been gaming anywhere near as much this year as I have previously. Because if I've had a hard day at work and I'll sit down and Nadia will say, "What do you want to do? Do you mind if I colour in or play this game?" And I'll say, yeah, that's fine. And she'll ask me, what am I going to do? And my answer is, I don't know. For exactly that, I don't know what I'm in the mood to play, so I end up playing nothing sometimes. And I do get lost at where I am, which is partly why I think I prefer older games, because older games, they're level-based, whereas modern games, they're huge linear stories, and you don't really end at one chapter and begin on another. It's one linear kind of thing from start to finish. So past couple of weeks I've been playing Tenchu on my PS1. I know exactly where I am. I've done the first 4 missions. Great. That game is saved, and the next time I jump in, I'll be on mission 5. Fantastic. Can't tell you where I am in Death Stranding 2, because it's open world with loads of side missions and unlockables, and what level am I, and where have I got to go next, and how far have I got to go before I reach the end of the story, and it's just too big. And you can't really do gaming like that anymore.
You said a great phrase the other day when we were playing Halo, which was games are almost not trying to be games anymore. They're trying to be too hyper-realistic. So you enjoy a game where it feels like a game.
Yeah.
And the same for the retro, which is absolutely true. Completely agree with that. I think, and it's only since you've said it, I think that's been some of the attraction with some of the Nintendo stuff, is because that's how they operate. There's not many games that Nintendo, especially not first party, that don't operate like that. You know, level 1-3. You know, the split up in worlds. Even Xenoblade is split up into chapters. So I'm currently in chapter 4 of 10. You know, and I think there's a lot that rings true in that, because you almost get the fatigue of, if you don't know how far in you are, you don't really want to see that percentage thing. And it's a cool feature that PlayStation has, but as you say, you want to feel like, oh, I've dropped in and I'm at this point in the story. I'm at this, strategic point is where I've stopped.
Yeah.
So I do completely understand that, and that's why I'm even more intrigued, I think, to get you on the Switch, a complete guilt-free. There's no, you don't have to play it. As I say, I lent it to my brother 6 months ago. He's picked it up twice. He's trying again in the minute. But in the same way for you, is just to try it, see if it works for you. Because if so, that's great. But I think it's the same thing as you say. A lot of these retro games and a lot of indie games, I think, are very similar as well.
Yeah.
I think that's some of the attraction.
It definitely helps to be able to dedicate to yourself to a single mission or a single level, whereas the games nowadays are like, right, here's this massive open world and you can stop and start wherever you like, and you just go, where am I supposed to stop? Where's a good time? Why have I got all these things in my inventory? What was I doing a couple of weeks ago? Because I can't remember. Do you know, so I've got 2 copies of Skyrim, one for my PS3 and one for my PS4. So that's how long I've had it. I've had it since before the PS4 came out. I got it, not new, but sort of second-hand, newish, when it came out on the PS3. To this day, I have never completed it. It's too big.
I would berate you for it, but I found it somewhat underwhelming, the main story, if I'm honest.
Well,
it's still good.
That is half the problem. It's not necessarily the story's underwhelming, but there's so much more other interesting stuff to do that I end up with a massive, incomplete list of side quests. And, the next thing I know, it's been a couple of months, I open up a side quest and I go, what is all this? I have no idea where I've got half of this equipment from, why I can't put half of it down. I've got 13 open things all waiting to be done. I can't find half of it, and I've already completed a bunch of side quests. So half of this stuff I'll probably be overpowered for, and the other half I'm underpowered for. What am I supposed to do? Or do I just crack on with the main quest? Or do I still need to do more side quests to make sure that I'm prepared for the main quest? Which one's the main quest? What was I doing? What was I in the middle of? I don't remember. So I
suggest a
Yes.
New Year's resolution for Mr. Dorian?
Here we go. I know what's coming.
Think about 3 games that you want to complete.
Okay.
Make a list of them.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it's notes, if you feel like you're burnt out on one game, maybe you could put a hyphen. This is where I was, this is what I was doing. So when you come back to the game, you can refer to those notes on sort of 3 main games.
Right.
And then you can kind of have a little catch-up. Maybe even a video log for yourself. You could even upload that to our YouTube channel. You could even be, these are my first thoughts of 15 minutes into the game, or I've played an hour. I'll come back to this. Just a thought. This has really helped me this year. It sounds like such a weird thing to be doing because it makes it kind of very gaming workified. It makes it feel like work.
Yeah.
But it just, the sense of accomplishment when you achieve some of these games, I found is brilliant. And you know how much I love Halo. So I'd say Xenoblade's probably my number 1 franchise. I'd say Halo maybe number 2 now. Very close number 2. And that's kind of my overarching. Went to play Halo online. I enjoyed the little go that we had on the sort of competitive online, but I just really struggle with a lot of the competitive stuff. I like having these story experiences and then the feeling of accomplishing the game, the sense of accomplishment for completing it. So yeah, maybe a thought.
That's interesting. No, I do like that. And funnily enough, you know what? I feel like this was fate, because my little sister for Christmas got me a little HMV gift card, and with it I bought a Funko Pop colouring book, Marvel. So that'll be fun. But also I bought a notepad, because I thought to myself, you know what? I like a good notepad. I'd like a fresh notepad. So I got a white notepad with a blue cat, and it says, "Nobody cares." I'm going to cover that thing in stickers, but I wasn't fully sure what I was going to do with it. I'm going to turn that into a gaming journal.
Yes, please turn that into a gaming journal. And then I'm going to say it on the podcast here, episode 5, I would like to, at the end of this year, or what will be this year, end of 2026,
Yep.
I'd like you to do a YouTube video going through your gaming journal.
Ooh.
I'll help you with it. I'll help get the video recordings of each game. I can send them over. We can sort that. I would love you to do that. Do the journal the entire year. Then let's do an end of the year gaming journal. Dorian Gaming Journal 2026.
That is the plan. I love that idea. That's got me smiling and excited. I'm looking forward to doing that. Thank you very much. Amazing.
No worries. And I'm going to chuck some Zelda and ram some Nintendo down your throat this year. As best I can.
I will do my best. I don't think I've played a little bit of is it Link's Awakening? No, A Link to the Past. The only one I've played is for the Game Boy. That's the only Zelda game I've ever played for the original Game Boy. I
had the remake of Link's Awakening. The top-down, the more modern one. I couldn't get on with it. I really didn't enjoy it. And JB was kind of shocked by that as well, or a few others were. I couldn't get on with it. I love the 3D side. I mean, this is a conversation for another podcast. I don't want to go down this too much, but I've paid for the Nintendo Switch Online for the year because it's cheaper to pay it in one go. It's also, compared to any other game, it's like £2.49 a month or something ridiculous for the base level. So I paid for it for the year. But I also paid for the expansion pass. So I get the Mega Drive, Nintendo 64, GameCube, SNES, NES, Game Boy, and Game Boy Advance. All the games on their online service with a CRT filter, which works so well. You save states, all sorts. Really, really clean way to play retro games, all first party. It's really nice. So I started Ocarina of Time. Love that game. Oh my god! So that's cool. My backlog is ridiculous at the minute. Me and Lauren have bought so many games in the sales. If we've got it right, we'll buy them all now, and they're really cheap. And then that's like at least 6 months sorted.
Just on the back of that,
I would say the 3D.
Because you've never really played a Mega Drive until that time you came over to mine, and I saw you mishandle a Mega Drive controller in the worst possible way because you sat it on your knees and played it like a keyboard, and I'm there going, "What are you doing?" And he said, "That's how you were supposed to hold it, isn't it?" I was like, "No, I've never seen anyone hold any kind of controller like that before." But so you've now got access.
I'm sure there's the slot.
Oh, go on.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I'm sure that the back of the controller has got a little slot to sit on your knee. I'm sure it does. Anyway, sorry, continue. I'm just going to do some Googling.
No, so yeah, you've got access to a small but a very good Mega Drive library now. So have you been playing any of the Mega Drive games that I recommended?
I've not as of yet because my backlog is so big that I'm trying to get through them, but they're on there. I've got them. I'm also considering through Nintendo, once you've got your sort of online membership, you get access to kind of a members only store. And I can get a Bluetooth Mega Drive controller, which is like first party through the Nintendo store. It's made by them.
Yeah.
And it's all Bluetooth. So I'm tempted to get the Mega Drive controller and the N64 controller, maybe even the GameCube one. So when I play them, the library, I can play it on the OG controller. I feel like that's what I need to do to kind of honour it properly.
Do you remember earlier when I said that once you're dedicated to something, you like to accessorise?
You've got to do it properly though. Like, you've got to enjoy it. Look, I don't drink alcohol, so that's a huge cost saving there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really. I go outside with the dog, and then I come home. I'm pretty boring, all in. A bit of mountain biking. That's probably as exciting as my life gets. So for the sake of, I think it's £30 to £40 per controller. And it's Bluetooth, first party, all works. So I think I'm going to go for it.
It's not an awful price.
But you really excited me with that list.
It's a very good list. Obviously, some of them will look very dated now. But just to give our viewers an idea, one of the items on that list is considered one of the best Mega Drive games of all time, which is Gunstar Heroes. And I did mention that it's quite difficult to get a hold of based on its price. So let me just pull up a little Google here and see how much Gunstar Heroes is physically. So let's see.
Oh, God.
It'll be a lot. Surprisingly, not that much. Wow, that's come down in price, actually. So if you wanted the physical copy from CEX for the Mega Drive, it's £72. Now, bearing in mind that your average Mega Drive game nowadays is probably between 10 to 20 to 30 at a push, £72 is still a little bit, but then you've got eBay sellers going for 230 quid. Nah, no thanks.
Well, the Sega Mega Drive control pad is $39.99. The N64 one's the same price. The SNES one is only $26.99, but the GameCube controller for the Switch 2 is $58.99.
Wow,
which is a lot more. But I assume that's maybe the Smash Bros kind of market.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, 70 odd quid for. How old is that game?
Oh, I think it came out in 1993, 94, so easily 30 years old.
Nothing wrong with anything that's 30 years old or 31 years old. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing at all. Anyway.
Well, let's dip into this week's news then. If you fancy it, should we go for that? Fantastic.
That was meant to be a little news jump, but I ended up doing a little sound bite that I've... What is that?
I don't know, but go with it. I'm gonna roll with it.
All right, yeah, cool. Anyway, this week's news.
News today. So I tried to just pick anything which would be sort of interesting, slightly relevant. Rainbow Six Siege, don't know if you saw that, was hacked, which meant that people in the lobbies were able to actually ban people completely from the game.
Oh, wow.
So basically took over it and just started banning people left, right and centre. So quite a big game to have that sort of flaw. I also saw that there's, I believe, a fix for some of the PC builders wanting RAM sticks. They're creating adapters so you can use basically a laptop RAM and the ATX size motherboard, so the full size motherboards. Don't know how I feel about that. I'd still like the consumer RAM to become available. I did watch something saying I think Asus might actually be gearing up to just sell consumer RAM.
Right. Okay.
Which is interesting, but Asus typically it's good quality, but it's not cheap, so we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I'm really lacking tech news, I'll be honest. I think it's a lot of media outlets and things, of course, geared down a little bit for Christmas. So, yeah, I've not got much my side. I don't know if there's anything you want to bring to the table.
Well, a little bit of gaming news here and there. So, I've sort of been looking forward to the new James Bond game, 007 First Light. To my knowledge, that's just been delayed. I think it was by 2 months. I can't quite remember, but I believe that their new release date is May now. Of course, this is sort of semi-old news, but GTA 5 was delayed again until, I believe, is it the end of 2026, closer to 2027 now?
Yeah. It's got to be a flop. Surely at this point, the hype behind that game is going to be so big.
Yeah.
That I don't know how it can live up to that expectation. I don't want to take Lauren's thunder on this, but as she said, I think it would have been better to have not put a release date on it. I mean, famously, Guild Wars 2, they were making it. I remember reading it on Twitter before it came out, and they said, you know what, we're just getting rid of a release date. It's ready when it's ready. We want it to be right. I think I'd respect Rockstar more if they did that.
Yeah, 100%. If they finally got the game down to what they want it to be and said, right, we are ready for release, so we're going to give it a month, we're going to give it 2 months, just enough time for marketing, and then they can say, right, now we're ready. Rather than just leading everybody on because there's still more to fix. Oh, we're not quite developed that just yet. Oh, we're running behind, guys. Dead sorry about this. At which point, anyone that's a fan is just going, we're losing hope in this now, to be quite honest. So, yeah.
Problem is they've kind of cornered the market. I don't know anything else that is as good as GTA, but I mean GTA Online. It was funny. I was talking to someone at work, And they said, oh yeah, me and my mate tried to play GTA the other day, and I went, let me guess, someone on a rocket bike just started blowing you up. He said, yeah, exactly, we were trying to do missions and you just kept blowing us up. Like, is this fun for you? Do you know what I mean? And I said, yeah. Me and my mate Dorian, we were playing GTA Online, we wanted to get back into the missions and love it like we used to, and it's just completely ruined.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
So, even if they scaled that back, I think they could do something special with GTA Online that they've got. As a, hey guys, they could even make a joke of it. Hey guys, we know it's taken a long time. It's taken a long time for us as well. But hey, we've done this. We've redeveloped this. So who knows? But yeah, I think every gamer has kind of got one eye open on GTA 6, haven't they?
A little bit. I mean, when it comes out, it comes out. I have lost interest in it because as fun as the GTA games were, it's got the same problem as the previous points I've mentioned earlier in this game. I've never actually completed the GTA game because they're too big. Even some of the older ones. I've got GTA 3 and I've got GTA San Andreas. Never completed them because it just seems like there's too much to do. I guess I'm just a level-based guy. But that's all the news I've got.
God, you need a Nintendo Switch. You need a Nintendo Switch so bad. So JB is very, very similar. So he got me onto Haven Park that I'm playing at the minute. So these games, £2 for a game. Indie game. You're walking around. There's a whole island. It's kind of like and you make campsites. And you go around and you fix fences and the lights. And it's a really nice, mellow game. 2 hours in length. And a lot of the amazing games and indie games that he's recommended are really short games, and there's nothing wrong with a short game. I think sometimes it's nicer to have that 2 hour real humble experience and enjoy it than one of these games that's, as you say, like 60 hours long, and you just burn out on that topic for that point. So many games that I'd love you to delve into.
So how about this then for next week's topic? We'll discuss our top picks for cozy games, and then we'll discuss the games that we aim to complete by the end of 2026. Done. Excellent. Which, by the way,
I'm trying to type that, but it's too loud, so I'll message on my phone.
That's fine. We have taken away from the topic that you gave us last week, though, because last week you asked me to list my top PSP games, and I've thought about it, but I've not actually played that many PSP games, so I can't give you a list. So I'm glad that you forgot about that and gave us new topics this week. So I was like, oh, thank God. Yes, I don't have to embarrass myself. Yeah. Patapon.
Patapon. Great game.
No, I'm thinking of a different one. I'm thinking of Loco Roco. Yeah, I've never actually played Patapon.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to have to find that. Right.
Rhythm-based.
So that's it. Those are next week's topics anyway. So we're going to talk about the games that we want to complete by the end of next year. We're going to go into our top cozy picks.
And what I would like to do, if we can, is I'd like to see the start of Dorian's journal.
I am going to think hard.
Dorian's gaming journal.
Yeah, I'm going to think hard about what I want to complete by the end of next year. And I'm going to write these down. I'm going to make myself a list in my new journal. And I can go through it with you as well to talk about what it is I want to complete and what else is going to go into this journal. And I'm going to write my thoughts on each game that I start playing as well. I think there's probably a fair few games I already own that I'm just going to have to restart. But I'll make sure the good ones at least.
What I'd love as well is for you to keep that physical journal. And then if Noah follows this journey, you can be like, son, here is the journal, here is the games, and let him go through them. I would love that. Imagine if that happened to us, that'd be so wholesome.
Pass it down to him like a rite of passage.
I just want to... Exactly, right? Exactly. Yeah. Just want to finish off with a little note that we had from JB. So he's saying that not intro music or even his kind of music, but he thinks that me and you would appreciate the level of music in the Ashtray Maze from Control, the game called Control.
Oh, I've played Control.
He's also very jealous. Yeah, he says it's a great game, and he says that music in there was brilliant. He also just wanted me to pass on that he's very jealous of you seeing Low Roar, of course, with the lead singer sadly no longer been with us.
Yeah,
and he's very interested in your thoughts on the music in Death Stranding too.
Oh, I've got lots of thoughts. All very good thoughts. Some tearjerkers because Low Roar appears in Death Stranding 2 as well, which took me back to the night that I went to go see him. But I would love to get into that but we're out of time today, unfortunately. So we will...
Look at that for a cliffhanger.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. That gives everyone a reason to choose in next week into episode 6, which I believe would be our very first episode of 2026.
The 6th in 2026.
That's it.
6. And if we can record one on the 6th, it would be 666. But that's a Tuesday, and we don't do that.
There's been a lot of hell references in this week's episode.
It has. Well,
so if you're
Merry Christmas.
We're going to wrap up on that note, folks. Thanks very much for listening. We hope you've had a fantastic Christmas. We all hope you have a brilliant New Year. A happy 2026 to you all. Whatever your resolutions are, go for it. You can do it. Do the thing. Have a fantastic time. We will see you all in the new year 2026. That's us done. Bye for now, folks.
Do the thing. Ta-da.